This week on Cartoon Dumpster Dive, they cover Sylvester and Tweety Mysteries. Joel, last week,
yes, Andrew,
I said Taz was the best and worst character to pick for his show style. Granny is actually the best person for this style of show, and I will.
You mean
for a Scooby-Doo mystery show, and I'll explain to you why. You don't have to explain why she doesn't have a job. She's retired. This is just what she's doing in her retirement. That's what I always assumed, and that's what I assumed when I rewatched it. It's just like, of course, she can do all this stuff. She's got her pension from whatever she did beforehand. This is just
Granny.
Yeah, this is Granny.
Living out her golden years.
As a detective. Why not?
She finally got tired of watching Murder, She Wrote, and Unsolved Mysteries, and she was like, well, dagnammit, I can do it myself.
That's right. That's basically like what the pilot episode of this is. So without too much waffling, let's just go right into it. Let's review that theme song.
Let's hit it.
Whenever there's a crime or trouble that no one can solve at all, it seems. That's when they come and on the double, Sylvester and Tweety Mysteries. It might be day or night, whenever conditions are right for them to flee. Somehow it all still fits together, Sylvester and Tweety Mysteries. If there's a full moon, an old house with rotten stairs, just walk around you,
chances are we'll be there. Someday I'll eat that darn canary, and then I'll be happy, yes sirree.
But Hector thinks you should be wary.
Sylvester and Tweety Mysteries. The chase goes on with each new mission, with backdrops aplenty globally. And through it all they're in contention, Sylvester and Tweety.
Solid.
8.
That's actually kind of a banger.
8 out of 10. Definitely.
8. I'm right there with you. 8. Do you notice that it has the same feel of like every other WB animation intro of that time, like Freakazoid?
I'm pretty sure that was like planned.
Oh yeah,
because like they have the same kind of. Yeah, I get what you mean. They have the same kind of cadence. It's almost like Freakazoid is just a faster version of Sylvester and Tweety Mysteries. And
like even just maybe the music of WB just had that sound.
Yeah, I could definitely see that as just like an in-house WB production.
Like you can just by the theme song you can tell kind of right away, okay, this was probably WB 90s.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Joel, how did this get made?
Honestly, not a lot of difference than last week with Tasmania. This was WB in the 90s just trying to re-energize the Looney Tunes franchise.
Yeah, the 50s are over. Kids are more interested in teams. It seems like. I feel like a lot of the more popular stuff from the 90s were team-ups, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know, TMNT, Street Sharks, to a lesser extent, Biker Mice from Mars. So
Road Rovers.
Shit that we've covered, except for TMNT. We don't need to, you know about the history of them.
I think you might be on something there, because there was that shift. Especially in the late 90s, it was all about teams.
But as one series that had stood the test of time, that was also around the 50s, so to speak, that you had mentioned that this show is kind of a ripoff of Scooby-Doo.
Yep.
So there must have been some. They keep it different, though. I wouldn't say it's a rip-off, so to speak.
No.
Because, one, there's only one human.
Yep.
But they're not unmasking monsters.
I say it's a ripoff in the sense that it's a group, not necessarily kids, but it's just a group of characters solving mysteries.
Yeah.
So WB, they just wanted to do something new with Granny, Sylvester, Tweety, that whole cast. They brought in Faye White Mountain to be the developer of this series. And really, there's not much more to just this show.
There was nothing about why they picked Sylvester and Tweety. I mean, I know Tweety Bird got popular. We talked about that last week, but
Yep.
you know, Tweety is popular between the gas station pill popping community.
Yep, there you go. Yep.
A lot of
Everybody knows what we're talking about.
a lot of airbrush t-shirts and the Tweety Bird fandom.
Airbrush. Yep.
A lot of beach trips, but to the other beach, not the good beach.
You're South Myrtle.
Yeah. If you're a coastal listener, you know what I mean when people are just like, hey, you want to go to the beach? And your first question, like, okay, so let's say your friend invites you to the beach. You're like, hey, you want to go to the beach with me? And like, you know what kind of lifestyle your friend lives. So you have to go, well, which beach? Because I'm not going to the beach you probably want to go to.
If they refer to it as Dirty Myrtle.
Is there other alliterations outside of South Carolina? Like, do the other beaches have that?
Oh, I'm sure the locals have their like little nicknames for their spots.
If it's New Jersey, I assume it's all of them. But
the shore,
See? Yeah, the shore. There you go. Yeah. It's like, are we going to the shore? I'm like, no, we're going to Hoboken or whatever.
Hoboken, wherever it's at. Yeah. But yeah, really, there wasn't much around it as far as why they chose this cast of characters.
It's almost like they just. But then, if you think about it, who else are they going to pick?
No one.
Like Bugs, Foghorn Leghorn.
Not for
mystery
like a
solving.
Test. Yeah,
that's the thing. Is like these four are really good at, like, if they're on screen, it's very rare that they're not all together in some aspect.
It did. I'll go ahead and tell you, it did get me kind of wondering what was it in the 90s with Looney Tunes, like the resurgence of them. So I wanted to kind of look a little bit into that. I'm not going to go into great detail of it because it might ruin a future cartoon that we cover. But basically, when Steven Spielberg blew up in popularity of Who Framed Roger Rabbit,
right?
The president of Warner Brothers at that time came to Steven and said, or Steve Spielberg, it's Steven, right?
Yeah,
Steven Spielberg.
He goes by Steven Spielberg. You got to be. I feel like
I don't know why.
Kill you if you called him Steve.
I know.
Spielberg?
I don't know why I said Steve Spielberg.
I don't know. Like, that's just if I met Steven Spielberg, that would be like, hey, Steve. I'm like, what the fuck did you just call me? I'm like, nothing. Steven Spielberg, director.
It's like when people call you Andy.
I loved War Horse.
I loved it. Well, anyways, when Steven Spielberg was basically promised complete creative control to revitalize or honestly save the animation department in WB.
Okay.
And at that time, he released Tiny Toons Adventures.
Animaniacs.
Well, Tiny Toons was first.
Okay.
That was the first one. And that basically, I would say that was the start of the WB animation.
Yeah, that was the
coming
catalyst for like the resurgence in the animation department. Because after that, it's saved, really.
And that was in 1990 when Tiny Toons came out. Sylvester and Tweety Mysteries, this came out in 95.
Okay.
So I feel like at this point WB is probably okay with taking some chances on some other characters at this point, because they've had success in other animations with Animaniacs, Tiny Toons, things of that nature. So yeah.
Okay. So you just think that like this is like a writer's room. All right, we need more stuff. What do you got?
Yeah.
There's not like this super visionary guy who is like, I got this thing for Sylvester and Tweety Bird that's gonna blow the lid off of this whole fucking thing. It's more like a group of guys and they're just sitting around and they got a bear claw or two and they're just like, Sylvester and Tweety solve mysteries? Like, get Granny to do it. And they're like, okay, yeah, I think we could bang out 5 seasons. That's what tripped me out.
Episodes.
I thought this was like 1 season long. Because I watched it and I was like, I kept watching the same episodes over and over. And I'm like, okay, they made it. It didn't get far. It's a 1 season. No, this is 5 season long and it ends.
It has a conclusion?
It has a conclusion ending.
Holy shit.
And it's not what you would expect.
Granny could see dead people the whole time.
No, she was actually dead. No, they were like like they were puppeting her corpse the whole time.
It was like, this is the only way we can check into hotels.
Yeah,
that's it.
They're just using her retirement money to travel around the world and solve mysteries and just fucking weekends at Bernie's Granny.
They're filing out Granny's taxes so the IRS doesn't catch on.
Yeah.
See, that's the mystery I want to see.
Turns out Granny's been dead for 5 years.
Oh man. Well, Andrew, what about the voice cast for this show?
So the voice cast for Sylvester and Tweety Mysteries is Joe Alaskey as Sylvester, Tweety, Colonel Rimfire, Charlie, Daffy Duckbill, and Marvin Orson. June Foray is Granny and Witch Hazel. Frank Welker is Hector, Muggsy, the Maid, Costello, Cecil, Dr. Henry Jekyll. Jeff Bennett is a lot of people, but he's Angus, Beaky, Birdie, British Gent, Casino Manager, Cat Leader, Crush Draws, Delivery Truck Driver. The list goes on. Jim Cummings is Rocky, Gossamer, Mugu Kai Pan. It's the 90s, so you can still pepper in a little bit of racist characters. Tress MacNeille is Aphrodite, Betsy Cracker, a bunch of other people, and that's pretty much it. So
okay,
I mean, there are others, but we'd be
here all day.
We'd be here all day, and you would lose interest, listener. So Joe Alaskey is Bugs Bunny in Looney Tunes Back in Action. June Foray is Grandmother Fa in Mulan. Frank Welker is, God, what isn't he? Here we go. How about, he's Curious George in Curious George from 2006 to 2022.
Hey, there we go.
Jeff Bennett is Pip in Andalasia in An Enchanted. Jim Cummings is another one. He's Razul in Aladdin.
Ooh.
Tress MacNeille is Agnes Skinner in The Simpsons. And there you go.
Really?
That's the cast. So here's the thing. Hector is an established Sylvester and Tweety character. I actually had him mixed up with another tan bulldog in Looney Tunes called...
Which one do you...
Mark Anthony in Pussyfoot. The one about the bulldog that adopts a tiny kitten.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they look exactly the same. So
They're not?
Yeah, they're not. No, Hector is Hector. Mark Anthony is Mark Anthony.
I just thought they recycled a character for those
I mean,
bits.
I think they recycled the character model. This is the one thing I kind of love about the Looney Tunes shows is because they make new characters. And they do this a lot in Sylvester and Tweety Mysteries. But it's like the formula for character design in Looney Tunes is so ingrained. It like you can easily make anyone into a Looney Tunes character. Like it's so easy. And so like they were able to design so many new characters. We meet Pepe Le Pew's fourth cousin in the second episode.
That's
and
hilarious.
They also...
What, was he a ladies' man like Pepe Le Pew?
Of course. That's how you learn he's his fourth cousin. Sylvester gets put into a magic outfit that makes it look like he has a skunk tail. And his cousin, like, I can't remember what the skunk's name is, but he goes, "What can I say? Pepe Le Pew is my fourth cousin."
Yeah.
So there's a few ongoing jokes in this.
Okay.
The first one it's the only one that it doesn't really happen is the first episode because Granny's not a detective yet. She decides to be a detective right then and there. But anytime something happens, they call someone else and they are unavailable. And they're just like, well, we can always call Granny. And then everyone knows who Granny is. My favorite one was the one where they go to Italy and there was something that got stolen out of a museum. And Granny, like, in the bathroom of the museum, it's like, for a mystery solved, call Granny at 555-555. I was like, damn, Granny, that's some high-level marketing you got there.
She getting it, man. She making word of mouth come back.
The second one is obviously Sylvester is constantly trying to eat Tweety Bird.
Of course.
Also, Sylvester narrates what I thought was a very interesting choice. Like he's like the detective that's like, she walked in with legs long as the highway and running with trouble or like that shit. But it's Sylvester, so it's fucking ridiculous.
And hilarious, I bet.
It is super funny. It does draw inspiration from a 1950s short with Porky Pig.
Oh, really?
Called Claws for Alarm. So in that one, Porky Pig is there and Sylvester is his cat. And Porky Pig keeps falling asleep and shit keeps like trying to kill him in this haunted house, and Sylvester keeps trying to save him, and Porky keeps getting mad at him. That happens throughout this show. Sylvester, I guess, because Sylvester's nocturnal, and so that's just an ongoing gag that like whenever, and also Sylvester just gets completely annihilated because he doesn't save them. He usually just takes the hit. You feel kind of bad. I feel kind of bad for Sylvester in this series just because like he's getting like beaten up by Hector every day, and then every night he tries to save Granny. And he gets flattened by the Blarney Stone. He gets blown up. He falls off a building. You know, typical Looney Tunes stuff. And you're just like, man, you know, you could let him take a break.
Man, Granny needs to just buy another bird and just give it to him for that.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like if he could just eat a canary, it'd be a done deal.
There you go. There's his reward. Just look the other way. You don't have to watch. Just turn
a couple
your
of the background jokes got me laughing pretty hard. So the very first episode, they go to Louisiana. This is the one that stood out to me the most. So maybe not all the other background jokes are that great, but there's like signs and stuff that like if you read them, you're like, that's funny. So they go to the Louisiana Canary competition, and the villain's name is Louisiana, and he was the second place in last year's Canary competition. And they show you a picture of it, and like so it's Granny with Tweety, and then Lou just I guess kidnapped Daffy Duck and painted him yellow. Because in the picture it's Daffy, he looks pissed, and there's just a yellow paint bucket right next to him. It's just like that's terrific.
That's fantastic.
There's actually a lot of cameos in this. This one has a lot more cameos than Tasmania, which makes sense. They travel the world in this one. Taz is stuck on Tasmania, so you see Daffy, Gossamer, Bugs even shows up a time or two. Pepe Le Pew's cousin, I'm counting that. It's just Pepe Le Pew, but he's buff, but with bangs.
Ooh.
That's literally it. He's just a big buff Pepe Le Pew with bangs.
Hubba hubba, am I right, Skunks?
Yeah, man. You're not getting away from him.
Mm-mm.
Do you remember that's why he's not in Space Jam?
Because he stinks?
No,
because
he was they're like, he's an implied rapist. I'm like, that's a little far. That. I mean, he's aggressive, sure, but it's just.
Well, what French man isn't?
That's a good point. I went over there and they could not stop trying to have sex with me. It was severe problem. I was like, look, monsieur, stop. I don't know what the. I don't know what that is.
Monsieur.
Monsieur. Back up. So, yeah, as I was saying, this series does have an ending. And the ending I found was pretty, it was pretty interesting at first, and then they pull the rug out from under you. So, Sylvester is just like trying to catch Tweety, and Tweety finally goes, You can't eat me, because without me, we don't have a show. Sylvester's like, let's find out. And he grabs him and eats him. And you're like, whoa, what the fuck? That happened.
Okay.
And so they do that, and then just like Granny's like, do you realize what this means? We're canceled. And like the network calls in. They're just like, yeah, without Tweety Bird, you guys are done. And Sylvester goes to jail. And then like all these things, because the absence of Tweety Bird happens, like there's a stock market crash. There are several countries that were like not going to go to war with America because they found Tweety Bird so entertaining.
Wow.
Just all this stuff of like Tweety Bird is just like the linchpin of society. And I remember that Sylvester gets beaten up in prison because they're like, we really love that cartoon cat. I can't believe you did this. And then you realize that like Sylvester wakes up and he realizes it's a dream. And then Tweety Bird comes up here and he goes, oh, I love you, Bird. And Tweety's like, see, cartoons are important. And that's how the series ends.
Oh,
quick quiz, Joel. Is Tweety Bird a boy or a girl?
I don't know. I don't assume genders.
Oh, that's whatever. Well,
I always assumed a girl, but it is a boy, right?
He is a boy. He confirms this in one episode where he goes to the men's room and he comes out and he goes, see, I told you guys I was a boy. So
that's hilarious.
So it answered the age-old question.
Yep.
So this can all be found on Max. Unlike Tasmania, this was done through wasn't done through Fox Kids. This was done through actual Warner Brothers. So
actual WB.
Yeah. So you can find it on Max, and they're So you know how they have like a logo that you see, and their logo would be perfect for one of those shirts we were talking about last week, because they're all like in suit and tie and like fancy watches. And I'm like, this is perfect for one of those long tees that people used to wear back in the day. People don't wear them anymore, but I'm just saying, if like they made that into a shirt in like 95, awesome. It would have sold out immediately.
People would have went nuts for it. Shit, people would probably still go nuts for it.
I feel like, because it's in classic cartoon fashion. None of them are wearing pants, but it's Hector, Tweety, and Sylvester, and like they're like Hector's in a purple suit, and that cracked me up because it's a bulldog in a purple suit.
Yep.
I don't know why I find that so funny, but the fact that it's purple, I'm like, that's perfect. Sylvester's in green, and I can't remember what Tweety's wearing, but it's like they're all in like blazers and ties, and they're looking fresh. They got it on them. I'll tell you that.
I'm going to look it up on HBO just for the thumbnail now.
Yeah, it's great. It's half the reason that watching that show is so fun. So because in between episodes, you just get to see this picture that like they've never worn this in any of the episodes. There's no reason to have it, but somebody in the office was just inspired. It's fucking perfect.
Hey, it worked out for them, apparently.
I mean,
we're talking about it.
To get 5 seasons.
Yeah. The show was, I mean, it wasn't groundbreaking, but
it was fun.
From what I can tell, people love it. It was entertaining, and it was just fun.
Well, Joel, I believe it's time for your new reoccurring segment. Reviews that are lost in mystery, and reviews that people tweet about, which would make more sense if X was actually Twitter still. Fuck!
Damn you, Elon!
Elon Musk, you big back bitch. Change it back.
Curse you, you've ruined this for me. So, Andrew, this is sitting on a 7 out of 10 on IMDb. Has 5,400 reviews or
bad.
ratings.
That's way more than I thought.
Oh, yeah. Not a lot of actual written reviews on this, however. I found a 9 out of 10, and the only other one I found was a 7 out of 10. So I'm going to read the 9 out of 10 for you.
Okay, that works.
Titled, Very Charming Series. A very charming and wholesome show from my childhood. Sometimes I wonder why Warner stopped making series based on Looney Tune characters for such a long time. From what I understand, it was due to the poor reception Looney Tunes back in action got back then. And in my opinion, it was a very underrated movie. Such a shame. Looney Tune characters deserve more love.
I agree. I like them more than Disney characters. Like, the Disney crew is fine, but it's just like, I don't know.
It's a slapstick humor. They're just so silly. It's hilarious.
It's like, I feel like there's more of them.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's way more of a variety of Looney Tunes than there are. There's 2 ducks, a cow and a dog, 2 mice, and a cat, and a horse and a cow.
On what, Looney Tunes or
no,
Disney?
On Disney.
Oh, yeah.
It's just
Looney Tunes.
Yeah, Looney Tunes has everybody.
They got very creative with Looney Tunes back in the day. And the expansion of characters.
Yeah.
But that's it, Andrew. What's your closing remarks?
I actually would say watch this cartoon if you have Max, which is actually going to get changed back to HBO. Because HBO is like a way better name because it's an established marketing thing. But I digress.
And everybody still calls it HBO.
Yeah, everybody calls it HBO anyway. I was thoroughly entertained. I really, really enjoyed going back to this. It was nice to watch new episodes of it. because
yeah,
I feel like I had only watched season 1 because I was like, okay, I know this one, I know this one, I know this one. If you're a big fan of Looney Tunes, you know, they got the cameos. It's for something that I assume is like a writer's room, like, well, what if they solved mysteries? It was pretty well written. I also remembered the animation being a lot worse, and then when I went back, I was like, actually, this is pretty good. I don't know why I remembered it being so bad.
Man, WB in this time period always had great animation.
I feel like they still do. I have yet to see one WB animation product. It's a wonder that they don't do more animation movies. Like, you know, why don't they do animated movies? They're always trying to do like live action stuff. Although they are making that Cape Crusader movie.
I don't know about.
Oh yeah, based on the Bruce Timm Batman. It's like in the 40s.
Really?
Oh yeah, it looks.
That'll be
cool.
cool.
I think it's out. I think it's one of the weird ones where they sold it to Amazon.
Oh man,
for tax
I need
breaks.
to. I think I might need to take some sick days coming up here and just spend a day watching stuff like that again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What about you, Joel?
But yeah, well, you've convinced me to go back and watch this because I remember this from my childhood. Like, I think everybody watched it at some point if you grew up in the 90s.
It came on.
And I remember it was always that show that was always just, man, I'll watch it as I'm getting ready for school,
right?
But I really didn't care about it. But I think I would enjoy it a lot more now.
I feel like they put Hector in there to try to get the boys to watch it.
Okay.
Because, I mean, it's Granny, right? How much pull does she really have? And like Tweety Bird, we already know the type of person who likes him. So,
yep.
Although Sylvester and Tweety had a video game for the Sega Genesis too. The Roadrunner Wile E. Coyote game is way better, and I think it's basically the same game. So,
Roadrunner for the win!
You should find an emulator and download that game. You could play it for our Twitch that we don't ever use, that we've been told to use all the time.
Yep. Maybe we should start doing something, just playing on Discord with our fans.
Yeah, maybe. If that's something you want to see, let us know, and you can tell us at patreon.com/cartoon dumpster dive. That's not it. Fuck. It's patreon.com/cartoon DD. There we have the $5 tier that gets you access to said Discord. Bonus episodes, extended audio episode, merchandise sent straight to your door. We're going to have to pick a new place other than Sticker Mule because they sent me that weird email.
Yep.
And then we have a website, cartoondumpsterdive.com, the best place to make requests if you're not on the Discord. We also have access to our store there. Go check it out and buy a shirt. We have an X handle, CartoonDD. We are Cartoon Dumpster Dive on all other social media, and you can send us an email at cartoondumpsterdive@gmail.com. As always, we appreciate a 5-star review on the podcasting platform of your choice, or answer some Spotify questions. Those are always fun. And as always, I hope the rest of your week isn't a mystery.
Nice.
Thank you. Okay, awkward silence ending. Nice. Okay.
Oh, I thought normally you do your thing and you said, like, have a great rest of your week.
That's what I said. Oh, I didn't say that. Have a great rest of your week.
See ya. I'm keeping that whole awkward silence in. All of it.
This has been a Lugho podcast.